Hello, I'm ArchieLuxury and welcome to the program. Today I'd like to talk about the art of being a bastard. That's right, the art of being a bastard. And Archie's had a lot of training in this. And as I've said in some of my other videos, my father was a WOG, a New Australian, and he had to fight for every advancement up the corporate ladder. And, many of Archie's life lessons come from his father. And his father went to a Catholic school as a kid, and he always loathed the Catholic education system and its brutality and fucking nastiness. Those Catholics are nasty, nasty, nasty fuckers. They're just the meanest, nastiest fuckers in the world. And, what one story was that after there was a kid in my father's class, and he very foolishly hit an unexploded mine, actually a bomb, with a hammer. The thing blew up and took his hand off. And anyhow, when discipline came to the class, everyone was to get 5 on each hand. The good old Sisters of Mercy, you fucking bitches! They gave him 10 on one hand. Yeah, that's right. It's a bit of Catholic brutality. They're just mean, nasty fuckers in the Catholic Church. And stick that up, you fucking asshole, Father Carroll from the Jindalee Catholic Church, you mean asshole of a prick. And he refuses to respond to my letters that I've sent to him about the Catholic Church. You bastard! See you in fucking hell, Father! And, the Catholic Church is a mean, fucking nasty organisation. And later on, when my father went to Rosalie, that was the Maris Brothers College at Rosalie, and many years later, there was this nun there, and this father, priest, said to my father, "Hey, I'll give you some driving lessons." And the nun came over and said, "No, you're not doing it. That's it." She said that to my father. And years later, my father found out the priest was jailed for fiddling with the kiddies. What a mean fucking bastard. And that just shows you the evilness in the Catholic Church. This nun knew how fucking evil he was, but she couldn't do anything. And I've fucking written to you pricks before in the Catholic Church, and you fucking refuse to respond to me, you mob of pricks. And they're just mean, nasty fuckers. And anyhow, I was getting onto my story. So my dad always had a thing against corporal punishment. I don't know why. He just was one of his pet bearings, because he saw the brutality inflicted through the Catholics. They're mean, nasty fuckers. And anyhow, it was just something that my father felt strongly about. And anyhow, when I was at primary school, my father wrote to the principal and said, "Hey," and the principal's name was Douglas Heiniger. "You bastard! Douglas Heiniger, you fucking asshole!" And my father wrote to him and said, "Look, I don't want my children," that's Archie and his brother, "disciplined in the school. I don't want, when I say discipline, I mean I don't want them to get the cane, the cuts, corporal punishment. You can hold them back for detention, you can do anything like that, but I don't want them to be physically hurt via your punishment." And Douglas Heiniger, you bastard! He was a mean fucker. He was a WASP, white Anglo-Saxon Protestant. He wasn't going to listen to some WOG who wrote a letter and told him not to exercise his right. So what did Douglas Heiniger do? Well, Douglas Heiniger, being the complete smart-ass jerk that he was, you bastard! He went to a ritzy legal firm in the city, via himself, not via the education department. He went to this ritzy legal firm himself, and what he did was, he got a letter drafted and he sent it to my father, which basically said, I have every legal right to discipline your children any way I like, under section such and such, clause blah, 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 blah. Now, my father, he actually half completed a law degree, but he never... This was after my father, had to avoid conscription. He did his economics degree, and then he thought, hey, I might continue on with the law degree until he realised how fucking hard it was. So he sort of did 2/3 of his law degree, and he likes to practice. One thing about someone who doesn't quite finish their law degree, they like to practice and test the law and, just get into legal arguments with everyone. It's just fucking crazy shit. So anyhow, I remember the day, I remember I was sick from school that day. I had a sickie, okay? And I remember, because my dad came home and my mum was home, because she was a housewife. And my dad said, look at this letter we received. It was from a big city legal firm. And, that's why these big city legal firms have these big expensive offices, etc. It's to intimidate people. It's like the White House. The whole purpose of the White House is to intimidate visiting heads of state. That's the whole reason for the White House. Well, a legal firm is roughly the same modus operandi. So anyhow, this fucking letter comes in and it said basically, I've got the right to do this and blah, 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 blah. And I remember my mum was a bit scared. She said, oh, what do we do? Oh, no. Just ring in and say sorry. And my father just smirked. Sniggered! That's the term I'm going to use. Sniggered! He couldn't stop sniggering. S-N-I-G-G-E-R-I-N-G. Snigger. He couldn't stop sniggering. And he just said, no, I got the bastard by the balls. And I couldn't work out what he meant. And my mum, she was just, she's a nice woman, but, she didn't have that killer bastard approach in her that my wog father, he just wanted to tear people to shreds. He said, I'll show this waspy bastard a fucking lesson. So what does my dad do? Well, what he did was, he started writing to the minister, the director general, everyone in the food chain, the regional director. And what he did was, to every letter he wrote, he sent a copy to the legal firm, which Douglas Heiniger was, he paid for it himself, you stupid fucker, Douglas Heiniger, you bastard! And what he decided to do was, he engaged in a legal pursuit. Just of nothing. Every letter that came in, he'd photocopy it down at the chemist for 10 cents. This was when chemists used to do photocopying. And he'd send a copy off to the snooty fucking legal firm and say, for your information, please add this to the file. And the legal firm would then charge a fucking huge fee and send it to Douglas Heiniger. You bastard! And eventually what happened was, my father had sent about 300 letters to this legal firm, and the guy was practically on the bones of his ass, because, yes, he may have had a legal point. Well, actually, my father disputes that matter immensely, and there's always, the beautiful thing about legal things, as Descartes would know, there's no 100% answer. It's all these other cases, and you can refutate this and argue it this way and fuck it this way. And my father said to Douglas Heiniger, he said, look, Douglas, you bastard, it doesn't matter whether your legal point is right or wrong. I've got a couple approaches I'm trying to do here. Number one, I'm trying to bankrupt you personally through legal expenses. You stupid fucker. You engage big lawyers to scare me. I'm not scared, Dougie. And I want to try and get you to lose your fucking house. Number two, what I'm actually trying to do is, Douglas Heiniger, you bastard, is I'm trying to get it so that when you apply for your next promotion, they turn you down because you're a troublemaker. I've created a mountain of paperwork and they fuck you over, Douglas. That's what I'm trying to do. And the third thing is, I want you to commit suicide, you bastard. And that's how it went. And anyhow, you know, Archie was always a pretty good student, but Archie's brother got into trouble in the school. This was about a year later. And what actually happened was Douglas Heinecker, there was 4 boys that were involved in an incident, and he said to Archie's brother, go to the classroom now. The rest of the 3, come up to the office, we're going to give you a whack. And that's the story. Dougie didn't have the balls to take an angry wog on. You fucking bastard, Douglas Heinecker, you prick! And, that's the story. And that's how Archie learnt to be a bastard. And that's lesson 1 in How to Be a Bastard from ArchieLuxury. I'm ArchieLuxury. Tell me what you think.